Hello YouTube and welcome to the first ever Super Reviews review, and just ignore the 11 at the end of the channel. That's the only way the channel would work. And it's a pretty special review because it's a review of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which is the last Harry Potter in the series, basically the end of a decade of magic. Now me personally, I'm a huge Potterhead, so I'll try not to be very biased. But Steve Kloves, he's the man who writes the screenplay for the film. So basically, he gets the book, transforms it into a film. He did a really good job. He balanced it. He didn't take out too much information from the book, and he never added anything extra in, which is really good of him to do, because the books are better than the films. And then David Yates, who's the director, he did a really good job directing it. But he was working with some extraordinary actors. I'm sure you all know the names, but I'll just say them: Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and not a lot of people know this, but the guy who plays Voldemort, his name is Ralph Fiennes. And this one was in 3D as well. Most people, they'll see 3D, they'll think that's a scam. No, it's not 3D, it's never 3D. Most films, the 3D is really shocking, and you'll go in just think, why did I pay this? But the 3D in Harry Potter was actually really good. And it was also presented in IMAX 3D, which is where I went to watch it. And if you've never been to the IMAX, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the UK, in Birmingham, it is the same size as 4 buses across, and I think a 5-story building, it says on their website. So it is really good to watch films at IMAX, but it is expensive, £10, but come on, it's Harry Potter, it's definitely worth it. Well, the plot, I don't really want to dive too deep into the plot because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen the film yet or read any of the books, but it starts off where the last film left off, with the death of Dobby and Harry, Ron and Hermione looking for these Horcruxes. Now obviously it's going to happen. In their search, they're sent back to Hogwarts where the final battle takes place. And this film is quite dark, and there's more blood and more death in this film, but it still has a level of kids can watch it, adults can watch it. It's quite universal, but it is one of the darkest films. And even though it's quite dark, it still manages to retain its humour. And this film is the spotlight of Neville. Neville just does such a good job in this acting. Matthew Lewis, I think his name is. He does a really good job at playing Neville in this. So that's basically it. A quick summary: very good 3D, great screenplay matched with great acting, great special effects, but it always has the best special effects. Bad parts, the last Harry Potter, and the battle scenes are a bit rushed. They could have been a bit longer because everyone loves a good one-to-one battles. Like Bellatrix's and Molly Weasley's battle was only about 3 seconds long, and it could have been way longer. Thanks. Subscribe.